Welcome back to the Explainer. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever caught yourself relying on just one single, completely predictable word to describe your meals? Day in and day out, you're probably just saying you're going to eat. But why limit yourself, right? The English language literally offers a veritable smorgasbord of 18 vivid, highly specific alternatives. Today, we're going to upgrade your vocabulary and show you exactly how replacing that one boring word can completely change the picture you project to the world. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. You use the word eat, but are you nibbling or are you devouring? See, precise language completely changes the picture in our minds. It's the vast difference between a delicate, tiny snack and an absolute unstoppable feast. When we choose the right word, we aren't just conveying an action. We're setting a scene, a mood, and an energy level.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at casual eating. Then, fast and greedy. Third, formal or slow. And finally, we'll wrap up with vivid and informal expressions.
Now, to help us visualize exactly where these words sit in relation to one another, we're going to use what we call the hunger meter. Think of this as our tracking scale for appetite. As we go through our 18 synonyms, we're going to plot them right here on this visual scale. We'll move from barely eating down at the lowest end, through normal eating right in the middle, all the way up to maximum intensity, eating absolutely everything, up at the high end.
All right, section 1. Casual eating. Light bites.
So imagine you're watching a movie. You might munch on popcorn, right? It's a steady, crunchy kind of habit. Now, compare that to a delicate nibble of a biscuit, or maybe a leisurely afternoon snack on some fruit. And what if you're wandering around a big buffet for an hour? Well, then you're grazing. You see, these words aren't about survival or satisfying some ravenous hunger. They're entirely about leisurely enjoyment and just taking your time.
Actually, let's focus on that last one for a second because it's so descriptive. To graze is to eat small amounts continuously over a period of time, like grazing at a buffet for an hour. Think of animals in a field, slowly moving from spot to spot, eating a little bit here, a little bit there. Applying that imagery to ourselves paints such a vivid picture of ongoing, low-intensity eating behavior. You aren't sitting down for a heavy, structured meal, you're just pleasantly and continuously coasting.
Moving on to section 2, fast and greedy, maximum intensity.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark, undeniable contrast between the low and high ends of our scale. A nibble involves tiny, deliberate, slow bites. But to devour, man, that is eating the whole pizza in minutes. By simply changing the verb, your vocabulary completely transforms the energy, the speed, and the sheer volume of the entire sentence. So here are our high action words. You might devour a whole pizza or gobble your food before running out the door. Notice those phrases, wolf down and bolt down. Adding that downward motion strongly implies incredible speed and urgency. It's a super aggressive action. It's not just eating anymore, it's literally a race against the clock. And then, there's the sheer excess of a word like scoff, as in scoffing an entire birthday cake.
We have to pause and fully appreciate that one. Scoff, to greedily consume a massive amount of food like an entire birthday cake. This is a particularly greedy, somewhat messy word that dramatically shifts our visualization from simply eating fast to outright gluttony. It's intense, it's excessive, and it absolutely maxes out our hunger meter completely.
Okay, let's slow things down a bit for section 3. Formal or slow? Elegant dining.
Here, we are moving entirely away from sheer speed. Instead of rushing, you might dine at a fancy restaurant or feast on a massive spread of roast chicken and rice. Perhaps you savor every single bite slowly or purposefully consume 3 full plates of food. These words carry a real sophisticated weight to them. They imply that the act of eating is a significant event, something to be respected and enjoyed deeply, or, in the case of consume, something measured and highly purposeful.
Look closely at the word savor. To enjoy food completely and slowly, appreciating every single bite. This is the absolute ultimate opposite of wolf down. And it brilliantly illustrates how your precise word choice dictates the entire mood of a sentence. You really can't savor something quickly, just like you can't wolf something down elegantly. The word you choose literally is the experience.
All right, on to our final group. Section 4. Vivid and informal everyday expressions.
Let's walk through these, because they're great. A dog might gnaw on a bone with a lot of physical effort. Contrast that with someone unenthusiastically picking at, a salad. On the flip side, when you're absolutely starving, you might tuck into a huge meal after work, chow down after a football match, or completely polish off the leftovers, leaving a totally clean plate. So the crucial point here is that these phrases jump all over our hunger meter. They paint highly specific, informal, and relatable pictures of exactly how we interact with our food.
And this brilliantly illustrates how these everyday expressions sit on completely opposite ends of the intensity scale. Pick at signifies very low hunger, right? Like poking at a salad without any real appetite. But right next to it, polish off signifies high hunger, leaving absolutely nothing behind and clearing away all those leftovers. They're both informal expressions, but they tell completely different stories about the eater's appetite and enthusiasm.
So, let's bring it all together and look at our completed hunger meter. From pick at down at the lowest end to a lovely medium-paced dine right in the center, all the way up to a high-intensity polish off at the very top. This final hunger meter perfectly summarizes the full spectrum of our new highly descriptive vocabulary. We don't just eat anymore, do we? We have an entire sliding scale of expression to capture exactly what's happening at the table, from the speed to the mood to the manners.
Now, I want you to really think about your own habits the next time you sit down for a meal. Challenge yourself to swap out that basic word, eat, and intentionally use one of these precise synonyms to describe your experience. Pay attention to how a single word changes your entire perspective on a simple daily action.
If you enjoyed expanding your lexicon and sharpening your communication skills today, coming up next time is an explainer on 15 synonyms for the word speak. It's another fantastic opportunity to build your toolkit and ensure you always have the perfect word at your disposal. Until then, keep observing the words around you, and I'll leave you with this question for your very next meal. Are you a nibbler or a devourer?